This is Stephen Nelson, this is Full Time Devils, and this is tomorrow's transfers today. Now, we've just put the title in of this video as Rooney bait for Lukaku. I don't think that's actually the most important thing that we need to talk about. I've just been told, literally just seconds before I came on air, actually, that, and it's from a Manchester United first team player, so I think I'm trusting the source of it. And when you think that there's a lot of Manchester United first team players that are international teammates with Morata, I'm inclined to think that this is very, very much as good as it's going to get. Now, this isn't exciting news, really. I don't think this isn't a shock news for anybody. I think this is one that everyone's expected to come, and to be honest, I've expected for the last 2 to 3 weeks, and the news is that Morata is done and will be complete by weekend. So that's not official from anywhere. That's just from what I literally got told 10 minutes ago. Still very relevant to what we're going to talk about this evening. And before you ask, I have no idea about fee. Players don't know anything along those lines. So I literally just know that's what I've been told 10 minutes ago. So it could still fall through. We've seen it happen with Ruud van Nistelrooy when they didn't pass the medical. Things can still happen, but I think hopefully that calms people down that maybe we've got it done. It seems like it was done with the player a long time ago. It seemed like the hold-up was with Madrid and was with a couple of million difference between us and Madrid, so hopefully they've now sorted that out. And we'll get into what we're actually here to talk about, which is Rooney and Lukaku. Now, the big issue from all of those, and it's on the back page of tomorrow's Mirror. United want Rom for Root is their headline on the back page, and the text, it's from John Cross and David McConnell. Manchester United are ready to use Rooney as a mate weight in a sensational move for Romelu Lukaku. Now, you know I love Lukaku. I don't think the news that Morata is wrapped up affects any sort of move for Lukaku, because if you think about it, we're losing Wayne Rooney, we've already lost Zlatan, we need to replace both of those. So I don't think one striker would ever going to be enough for Manchester United this summer anyway. I always thought we was going to need two, especially if Rooney was going. So I don't think this changes anything. What this might change is, and we'll get onto this in a second because there's still talk about James Rodriguez. So I think that complicates deals a little bit. I'm very wary of Manchester United being used here by Mino Raiola to make Chelsea hurry up and get the deal done for Lukaku. I'm very wary of that happening for United because I really want Lukaku. I really, really like Lukaku, and I think he'd be an excellent signing for Manchester United. I'm just wary of United being used, as we always are, to make somebody else hurry up or potentially get a new contract. But it looks to me like Everton are spending the Lukaku money, much like we saw with Juventus last season, where they're spending the money and then the player moves a little bit later in the window. I do think Lukaku's moving. I think at this moment he looks more like he's stronger to be going to Chelsea. I would absolutely love him at Manchester United. And if we signed Lukaku and Morata and we pick up the defensive midfielder that we've been looking for to add to the defender that we've already signed in Lindelof, I'm very excited about what's going to happen with Manchester United next season. Anyway, into the next bit of news that we are here to talk about. So Talisca has come up again. This kid is forcing a transfer through on his own. He's been talking over in Turkey, and he says, every player dreams of playing under him, Jose Mourinho. Mourinho wants me, not shy. He has wanted me for a long time, and I am an admirer of his work. I had a good season, so we'll see what happens. I think this is this kid trying to force a move through or something. His agent's already said there's nothing in it, so why he keeps talking, I don't know, whatever. So that's one that keeps rumbling on and rumbling on. And the other one that we need to talk about is James Rodriguez has issued an ultimatum to Real Madrid, and that's according to Don Ballon, our kid's mate, Adam's mate. And it says Real are holding out for a fee in the region of 52 million, 60 million euros, but United don't want to pay more than 40 million euros, 35 million. So that's a long way apart. I don't think you're getting anybody in this window who's played international football for 35 million when Real Madrid are signing players that are 16 years old from Brazil for 45 million. So I'm not sure that one's going to happen. That's what Don Ballon are reporting. So we will see what happens on that one. Let's see what you guys are saying in the old comments. Let's go up a little bit and see what anyone's been saying. Lukaku and Rooney probably not get exchanged. Absolutely not. No, I just think that you're negotiating with them about Rooney. You can talk to them about Lukaku at the same time. Not sure that's going to happen. Stuart says, shocked at the Morata price. I admit I don't know loads about him, but since it's the same cost as Lukaku and Belotti, I'm surprised that we went this way. I'm a little bit surprised at the price, but when you see how much people are going for at the moment, it absolutely blows my mind. Can't even contemplate it, so I'm not even thinking about the fees that we're paying now, to be honest. We get the players that we want. Does it matter how much they cost us if we win the league? Whatever. Alex says, buy a left mid and use Marshall as a striker. I wouldn't mind that, if I'm honest. We already have Rashford and Marshall, says Mohammed. We didn't have enough goals last season. And we had Rooney and we had Zlatan. I think when he came last season, Mourinho expected a bigger output from Rooney than he got. So I think he's still going to want to replace and get 2 strikers, or at least 2 forward players, if not straight out number 9s for next season. Skank Hunt says we need a left back. We might not need a left back. There might be the opportunities afforded to somebody on the tour to stand up and really put their arm up and say. Giledis says Morata is better than Lukaku. I don't agree. I prefer Lukaku out of the 2, but it looks like we might be in the running at least for both. Too expensive to buy Morata and Lukaku, 100 mil and 79 million respectively. You might have a point on that one. You also might just be thinking, this is Manchester United and we're just going to fling a load of cash around. Maybe we're not done selling. Maybe that's where David De Gea might come in. I don't know. I think there's a lot of rope left in this window on the buying and selling front, if I'm completely honest. United also don't give a shit about transfer fees. United give a shit about wages, because that's the commitment that you make to a player that you have to go with. When you buy a player, generally you've got an asset that's sellable in the future. When you commit to paying off a contract, like we signed Rooney for 24 million plus add-ons, making it up to 30, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. We'd have paid him significantly more than that over the course of his life at Manchester United. So they're not really bothered about transfer fees as much as they are about big contracts and big wages. Adi Wallace says, do I honestly think James is a possibility? Also just heard about Weigl. I'd love Weigl. I think Weigl's a fantastic midfielder. I don't know if you get him out of Dortmund. I do think James is a possibility. Yeah, James is a possibility. He's not wanted at Madrid. I think that you can get players like that out of Madrid. So I think it's definitely a possibility. Would I take Matic and Fabinho? Yeah, those 2 players are in that. I always say, don't I? Those 2 players that are in the top level of world football absolutely improve Manchester United. Not a problem. Craig says, if De Gea goes, who would I sign? Wouldn't mind Lloris from Spurs. I ain't going talking to Spurs about anyone because you're going to get rinsed. Does anyone think this Ronaldo deal will happen? Did you type that with a straight face? No. I would be shocked if Lukaku didn't go to Chelsea, says Richard. I would be as well, to be honest. I think there's a very real chance that he's always been going to Chelsea. So I'm not overly surprised about that one. Who do I think we should definitely sign? I think we need people who can score goals. Top and bottom of it, really. Where does Mata and Mickey fit in? Mata's a very interesting one, because Mata is entering the last 12 months of his Manchester United contract. So what's going to happen there? He either needs to sign a new deal, or I think it's quite clear that Jose's looking beyond Mata. Maybe he gets moved on this summer while he's still got a bit of a value in him. I think that could happen, in all honesty. According to the Sun. Did someone just start a sentence with according to the Sun? Moving swiftly on. Sullis says, any chance of Sanchez? I know this. I know Manchester United inquired about Sanchez earlier in the season and got told to sling it by Arsenal. Adam's just texted me something here from Sky Cover. Let's have a look. Adam has texted me, it's a link. Marca, United are very close to agreeing a deal with Real Madrid for Alvaro Morata. United now offering 65, Madrid wants 70 million. Maybe there's something in it. Kane, again, I don't want to go anywhere near Tottenham. Kane would score goals at Manchester United, especially with Pogba making them for him. Joe says, hope Marshall finds some good form. Having him in good form and Lukaku or Morata would be amazing. Totally agree. Tufanua says, is Blin starting left back? We're going to find out on the tour, mate, I think. Jared says, just got off work. What did I miss? So just before we came on, I'd got a text which had said that the Morata deal is pretty much done and will be all complete by Sunday, was what they said. So hopefully that calms a couple of people down. The source for that is a Manchester United first team player. So when you think about how many Spanish players that we've got in the Manchester United first team and how close they would be to an international teammate, I think that's a pretty good source. So I'm happy to pass that on to everybody. It's also not a surprise, is it? It's not like it's come completely out of the blue. It's not like I've gone, hey, I've just heard we're getting Messi. It's a deal that's been on the cards and pretty much sewn up for a long time, so it's not a shock. I thought it would have happened 2 weeks ago, in all honesty. So it looks like everyone can breathe out a little bit. Looks like we're getting the first one over the line. The next thing is that the Mirror have gone with their back page saying that United might try and use Rooney as bait to get Lukaku. As someone in the comments correctly pointed out, the amount of cash that we're looking at for Lukaku and Morata, which is eye-watering, as Cavers just mentioned there, we're looking at 65 to 70 million for him, plus whatever we're going to shell out for Lukaku, plus what we've already shelled out for Lindelof, plus whatever a defensive midfielder is going to cost us. And if Mourinho's also he's looking at potentially a left-sided player or James Rodriguez. We can't spend all the money in the world every single summer. We are going to have to reduce costs somewhere. Now, we've got a lot of people off the wages, but financial fair play still affects Manchester United. So I don't know what the crack is with all that lot, or whether we'd be able to do that without some big sell-ins. And like I said, I worry about Herrera and I worry about De Gea. So I don't know. My ratings on Ed Woodward for his transfer window work. Well, if he's comfortable enough to think he can go and swan off and watch the rugby, then I assume he's got the deals where he needs them. Otherwise, he's going to massively fall on his face flat, isn't he? 70 million is too much for Morata, says Nicky. Well, if we end out the window without signing another striker, I think that would be too much. So, you know. People in the comments took me seriously and actually think we're getting Messi. I have lost all faith in you lot. I thought you lot were sound. I thought the Full-Time Devils viewership was actually some switched on cookies and not just a load of muppets. Are you proving me wrong here on this one? Are you switched on or are you a load of muppets? What's going on? Of course we're not getting Messi. Lunatics. Marshall and Sanchez swap deal. I don't really think swap deals happen. So I'm not really going to talk about that one at all. Craig again says Lukaku is not worth it. Look, pay the money. We've spent $1 billion on debt for no reason whatsoever. I would rather it go into players that can play on the pitch and make Manchester United better. Robbie Keane on a free. People talking utter bollocks in the comments. Any good questions in here or what? Because people are just talking absolute garbage. What's the latest ones everybody's saying? What about Neymar? There was a little bit of Neymar talk earlier in the day, and it gets put straight in the bin because it's complete bollocks. We're not going to talk about Neymar because we're not signing him. Satyam says, I hate when we missed out on signing Pedro because of useless slackness. I don't want the same thing happening with signings this time. Did we though, or did he actually just prefer to go to Chelsea? That might have been one of the ones where we actually did get snubbed by somebody. According to reliable sources, are you the same guy that was talking about the Sun earlier? Leicester will sign a keeper named Kalinic. Is there a chance of Schmeichel coming due to his personal desire to join his dad's former club? I've never heard Kasper Schmeichel mention that he would like to play for Manchester United. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. If they're signing a keeper that you think is going to be first choice, then maybe there's some movement in there. I'm well sceptical about De Gea. Until the window closes, I'll be having one little beady eye on him because I do think that there's potential for movement in that. Someone in the comments, these come up every single day. Why not Chicharito? Chicharito, if his release clause is to be believed, is a fantastic bargain for anybody who's got that money to go and sign a striker because he will score goals. That's what he guarantees, as much as anybody else guarantees them in the world. But Chicharito left Manchester United because he was down in the pecking order. I think if he came, he would still be down in the pecking order. So I don't think Mourinho would guarantee him a starting place every single week. And therefore, I don't think he would come back to Manchester United because he left to be a first-choice player, which he's gone and done, and he's gone and scored. So I don't think he's coming back to Manchester United for that reason alone. What about Schneider? Anything on Smalling going? I've not heard anything, although there was a lot of people linking him, so I'm not sure about that. Jared, what youth do I want to see on the pre-season tour? we're going to find out on Saturday what youth could go on the pre-season tour, because the under-23s are already back in training and the under-18s are already back in training, and they go together, the 18s and 23s, to Austria on Saturday. So anybody that's not gone on that tour is probably going to go on the first team tour, which leaves about 4 days later. Reece says, is Timo Werner good enough to be the second striker we sign? I think so, actually. Not heard any rumour that we're in for him, but I do agree. I think he's an excellent striker, and he's different to what we've already got, and I think that's what you need. If you're going to sign multiple strikers, you have to have different tools for different locks, don't you? You know what I mean? You have to be able to do something different, and I think he definitely would be something different to what we've already got. Smalling to Arsenal. It is an Arsenal signing, that, isn't it? I could see that. Daily Mail, United are hijacking Lukaku's bid at Chelsea. Someone asking, is Rooney a loan deal or not? I don't know. I've not heard anything of those sorts. Have I seen the Marca article? I haven't. The one that Cave just addressed, I've not seen it. Will Lukaku actually come, do I think? As I said earlier, I think he's probably 2/3 more likely to go to Chelsea than he is to come to United. But I definitely think it's a consideration for him, especially with one of his best mates. Do I think Gomez will go on a pre-season tour? No, I think he'll be with the youth team. And the comments are going absolutely bananas. Right, I think we will wrap it up there, but thank you for joining us. We have got the Fan League Cup this week. Who do you want to see us line up against? Let us know in the comments. Who do you want to see playing for Full-Time Devils? Let us know in the comments. We can't tell you about the results straight away, because the results are going to be all coming out a little bit later on over the next couple of weeks. But we are playing them on Saturday, so give us all your support on socials. There is a social media blackout about it, so we're not going to be able to tell you whether we won or not. But keep your eyes peeled, because I've got an absolutely banging team for Full-Time Devils. And trust me, we'll do you proud. Right, laters. See you in a bit.